All right, we are live.
We're live.
We're live.
All
Oh
right.
man, yeah. So let's get into it. Um, should we? Should there be like some kind of
So,
intro, like, uh,
uh,
like welcome to the
yeah.
Critical Vision podcast.
So let's introduce ourselves properly this time. So, um, I'm Critical Vix. Um, we did one episode, a week or two ago, and we just kind of started rambling, and it was pretty good. We actually had a lot of pretty good
Good
responses
feedback on
from,
that.
yeah, good feedback. But we were just two random guys. People don't really know much about us, but basically, we've both been playing for over 1,000 hours. I've been playing for 2.2 thousand hours. Um, Basically, and that's just on this, account. I've been playing back since the old play test before they started measuring the hours. Um, Not. I don't think I played the very first play test, but I played like maybe the second or third. It was before the lawsuit happened, and then you had to torrent it. So the dark ages when you had to torrent the game, and I was like an ambassador of the game. Basically, I was telling people to play the game. Like, yeah, there's this game, and you got to torrent it, and they're like, what? You got to torrent it? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about that. Just torrent the game. Play it. It's called Dark and Darker.
It's kind of jank.
And yeah. And I'm a rogue player. My first probably like 500 hours were just like solo rogue in the Goblin Caves or before the Goblin Caves, 1v3ing, because everybody had to 1v3 if you played by yourself back then. Um, but yeah, I'm a rogue player, and I've got about close to 2,500 hours. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. But you've also been playing a lot of Wizard, and you're really good at that.
Yeah, so like I would say like my first 1,000 hours were like almost exclusively rogue.
Yeah.
And then we started playing with groups of people. I started playing different classes. So I've played pretty much every class. I'm pretty decent at rogue, ranger, wizard, and warlock is pretty much the four I'd say I'm the most decent at.
Okay. And so when I started right at the Steam release about, was it like a year ago now? When they did that.
Yeah.
And I've somehow managed to clock in like, what was it, like 1,200 hours or something like that. And I've mainly played a lot of Ranger. Although as of late, and I want to say maybe towards the end of the last couple patches, I've definitely ventured out and I started playing Rogue a little bit more. I played a little bit of Wizard, which was a lot of fun. I played a little bit of Druid, which is also a lot of fun. But I never got to play it when it was like super, super broken, unfortunately, because I think actually,
Yeah.
maybe I don't know if I mentioned this on the first go around, but one of the first games that I played with you, we wound up in Goblin Caves, and I got killed. I got two tapped by a panther, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's Jake Griffia." I'm like, "Who the hell's that?" And you're like, "He's a big streamer." So yeah,
Yeah.
and that
I
was
remember.
back when all the druids are running around with the ruby silver cuirass.
Yep. Oh yeah, gear
So
was
yeah,
broken back then.
unkillable druids, actually unkillable druids, and
Yep.
people still think druids strong now. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, Druid was, oh my god, it
Yeah,
was so oppressive when it
yeah.
first came out.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was really strong. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of who we are. And I before that, I used to play like shooting games. I've played a lot of Apex, a lot of Overwatch, a lot of Battlefield, a lot of Call of Duties. Going back, the further back you go, the more it goes into shooting genres until it goes into Counter Strike, which was like my bread and butter for years, many years. Back in like the ECS like 1.4, 1.5 days, like early 2000s. Um, so that's going like super super far back. But I'm I'm super washed up compared to those days, because now I have like a full-time job and a long ass commute, and you know, and like I don't know, I have life, so I put a lot less.
Yeah.
I still put a lot of time into gaming, but it's not nowhere near what I would have done when I was like, just out of high school or something, or even in college.
Yeah, and for reference, you're in your 30s and I'm in my late 20s, so we're both older for gamers, you know.
That's right. I'm slowing down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of the games we've played before this, I also played Apex. I played League of Legends, so too.
Oh
Lots
yeah,
of League of
that's right.
Legends.
I did get a Dota stint for about 4,000 hours. That was a good bit of fun. um, so well, as of the past 2 weeks, the market opened, and I think I'm just gonna go out and say that the difference was like immediate when the market was
Yep.
open. I mean, we were playing with like really good self-found like blue kits that were gemmed and everything, and I remember, and I had several because like I had just been collecting gear. Like that's what you do when you have only solo self found as an option, or not solo self found, but self found as an option. You just grab gear because you can't buy more. And so I
Yep.
had like decent boots and decent gloves and decent body pieces and stuff like that. And no matter what I did, dude, I was like shooting people in the face, stabbing them, and times when I was like, "There's no way this guy's alive." And I'd shoot one more time. And it's like, there's no way this guy's alive. And I'd shoot one more time. There's no way this guy's alive. It just didn't matter. Like these people literally just ran up to you, stat checked you, and you just died. And they're like, oh, they're wearing nothing but purples. They're like completely bis
Yeah, these
rolls on everything.
and this is in normals. This isn't
In
in
normals,
HR.
yeah, in normals, because we were just chilling, trying to play casual games after work. and and it was insane. And so then we just started going into HR because for some reason that was like a better experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, I played some HR trios today with
Nice.
two of
How'd it
our other
go?
buddies, and all of our games went really well. Um, we weren't we were wearing decent gear, but everybody, I feel like HR is the more like traditional Dark and Darker experience now. I don't know what it is about. I don't know if there's just not many people playing HR or what, but like it's not quite as hectic as normals. Normals, it's like the men never stop coming in. It's just they
It's
just
yeah, especially on ruins. It just
yeah
kind of weird, and the lore made a video about it where I mean he's obviously kind of abusing the system just to show how broken it is, but like um he's coming in there with like absolutely bis purple gear, all gemmed, and he's just literally straight running W keying people on Ranger basically and just spearing them to death. I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, there's not much they can do, because they're probably like your humble dad that's got a couple kids and only has like an hour to play, and he's just showing these Timmies who's boss. Um, maybe, and not to say like it should be that way when there's that much of a gear disparity, but like maybe there's a way to improve the experience for normal lobbies. And I had an idea, so I don't know if you had something to add to that before I go on.
well, before you go on, I'll say this much: I am against like the gear score lobbies and stuff of before. Right now, the cap is purples and normals, so like you can max out your gear to purples and normals. And if you wear BIS purples, like that's close to end game gear regardless. Like BIS purples, BIS legendaries is comparable in a way, because like there's
Yeah.
usually only like three roles that are like must haves for most pieces. Like for like a ring, for example, right? Like you want all attributes, you want max health, and you want true fizz or true magic damage. Like you can cover all three of those bases with the purple. Once you get to legendary, it's like you have all those same things, but then you have an extra like 2 agility on top of it. So it is a difference, but it's not the biggest difference. And you're paying an arm and a leg for a legendary with 4 BIS rolls like that, where
Oh yeah,
so you're
absolutely.
usually not going to see a legendary with those 4 BIS rolls. You'll usually
Yeah.
still see the same 3 good rolls.
Yeah.
So I've never liked capping the gear on any lobbies. Like I get why they do it, and I especially don't want normals to go back to the way it was before, where it's just squire gear lobbies. I think it's good kind of the way it is, where there's squire gear, then there's normals, and then there's HR. I think really the problem more so with anything is just that HR is just not appealing to play. I think it's less to do with like the problem with normals, and it's more to do with the problem with HR, where these freaks, as we call them, would be going to HR and killing each other in HR if it wasn't for every single mob being a nightmare mob, like
Well, it's not even just that. It's the lack of map selection, and that half the time, or more than half the time, you queue into HR, you get ice caves, and nobody wants to play ice caves.
Yeah, and also
and I know
the Battle Royale circle.
Yeah, statistically, it shouldn't be ice caves all the time, but holy shit, does it feel that way?
I honestly, lately, I think they might have done something. I don't think ice caves goes up nearly as much. Yeah, I don't think it comes up. I think they heard people bitching. I think they put it on like it's 50% crypts, 25% goblin caves, and 25% ice caves. That's what it feels like to me now. Like when we first played this first week or two, it was terrible.
It was horrible.
It was probably even, and we just got unlucky. But
yeah,
now it feels like I get crypts a lot, which I like.
Yeah, I love crypts.
Even still, just the Battle Royale circle, like all that stuff, and that stuff's a little bit more manageable in duos or trios, but in solos, man, I'm a seasoned vet rogue player, and bro, I do not want to go into HR by myself to do the content just because I don't want to fucking have to kill mobs. And at any point, if someone walks in the room, it's like I got my pants down. Like, like if I'm going to hell, it used to be I was pretty confident, but now that every single mob is a nightmare, and there's nightmare variants of like the centaur and the abomination and all that stuff, it's like
tree.
Yeah, there's no guaranteed way to like be safe. As a rogue, I can go invis and I can buy myself some more time, but like if I get hit by a mob twice, I'm dead. Even with a really good kit on. So I'd rather just not do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So I have an idea. A way that they could actually fix normals lobbies. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so basically the current new player experience, right? Which is basically there is none. You go into Squire to Riches. That's the closest version of the game that you have for an
PvE.
entry. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. There's PvE. So my idea would be, what if we made Squire to Riches like where it's basically the battle royale. You drop in from the airship and you land somewhere on the map, and I'm not saying that it drops you in. I'm just making the connection between it being battle royale or whatever. But like you put your place somewhere on the map and you run around, you collect loot, and you go head to head against other teams. I think that mode is a whole lot of fun, and it's a great way to get experience if you're already kind of a more experienced player. You can just get in, even if you have you don't have all the perks or whatever, you can still make it all the way through all the floors, get out, and get a good amount of XP. Now, what I think would be really cool is if they made it so that the gear from Squire to Riches and normals be gear that is like minted, right? And in the normals mode, because you get to choose your map, you can only bring in minted gear or minted gemmed. So like that way, if you go into the market and you buy Absolute Bis, you're forced to go to HR. Like, you don't have another option. Like, if you want to sport the biggest freaking kit that you want to wear, you can't go in Timmy Stomp. Who doesn't, like, the Timmys aren't going to be in HR. They're just not. You know what I mean? And so if you want to sport the biggest fucking kit you have, because you have like 30,000 gold to spend on that kit, you can't go stomp Timmys with it.
So you basically want to make normals like the way arenas used to be.
Correct, yeah. And I'm still against the whole market arenas thing. I understand why people want to play like different classes and stuff, but at the same time, it definitely waters down the experience when day one of arenas I'm wearing Bis blues, quote unquote, like really, really good blue gear, but I wasn't prepared for everybody to be running around in there with like legendary gemmed gear, especially because all the gems are now like so available because of the water map. Like everybody's running around with like actual like legendary gear where every single stat is gemmed. It's kind of insane. or you have like the one primary stat like vigor or strength or whatever that they have, and then every other roll is gemmed. Like it's actually kind of insane, and we're seeing. We can get into arenas later, but yeah, I think that would be one way to fix it, is to make it so that riches, squire to riches, you can't bring anything. Normals, because you get to select your map, it's
I
self-found only,
I like that.
right?
I like the idea, and also the whole concept of like the stamping the gear found by critical vicks or whatever is a really cool concept. And like you said, it's kind of a shame they got rid of it in arena, but this would be a good way to make use of it in normals. And I think people would like that. And you could
Yeah,
even, if you did it that way, you could even get rid of the gear cap for normals. Like you could make it so
absolutely. Yeah,
if you find a legendary, you can bring it in, but it
yeah,
has to be just found
absolutely.
by you.
Yeah, because
I think
I
people would like
think
that a lot.
I think in normals, like even if you're an experienced player, like you can still be killed by other people that are not as geared, simply because the gear, you can't like buy like bis everything. Like you would have to play the game a lot to construct such a kit, and you could eventually lose it to either a misplay or a mob or something, like that one rogue that you saw in the corner, like that fell in between a column
Yeah.
and got killed by a bat. Like that was hilarious. And and I think that that's just something that happens when you play the game. Like every so often, you're gonna get griefed by the game. Like I mean, how many times have we like just freaking Koopa surfed on top of spiders, and you just can't get off? You're like, well, I guess my life's over now. Like
Yeah,
they
I
just
think if they
carry you
made
to the.
normals self-found, people would love that.
Mhm.
I think people really would like that. Like,
Yeah,
because realistically, like, who are you hurting? You're just hurting the freaks that are buying this and going in normals, and it's like,
absolutely. And they're a
just,
tiny fraction of the population, because like I mean, when we were doing our games in normals, we would kill 3 to 4 teams, and we had decent gear on, but it wasn't like this, and we were
Mhm.
just outplaying the other teams. And then we would run into, the one bard and the cleric freak, which we did several times that night, and they're wearing absolute fucking bis, just killing everybody in ruins.
Yep. Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea, and it would just, it's almost like adding a new way to play the game without really adding any more cues or anything. And again, I don't think you're taking too much from the game by doing that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm
Yeah,
glad
that's a
I'm
really
glad
good
that
idea.
I'm glad that you agree. The other thing I was going to mention is that I think I really like where gemming is at right now. Um,
Mhm.
for a long time, gemming was, you only gemmed purple gear, maybe blue gear, but like gemming something green just made no sense, because I think the cost was like 50 or something or more.
Yeah, it was like 50
For
gold.
Yeah, and so like unless you're putting like True Fizz on a pair of gloves or something, it just didn't make any sense to do that.
Mhm.
But now I mean, throughout the whole, like before the market opened, I was gemming green gear left and right. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it was worth it. And the same thing with blue gear, especially. I really like I like the new map, and I like how accessible it has made a lot of the other all the gems stuff. Maybe in the market, I haven't really checked the market prices. I could probably do that right now, but I'm sure it's brought the price down because there's just so much more available. And I like
Yeah,
that.
gems are not that expensive. You can buy
It gives
gems
an
for cheap.
option. It gives an option to, whereas before, the purple and legendary and unique gems were just like, holy shit, that was insane. You'd be very
Yeah.
selective about what you were gemming.
Yeah. I think the gems just like, I think a lot of the mechanics that they've added to the game, like the gemming, even like the insurance from the Goblin Merchant isn't active anymore. It's only active for PV. I think that's like a good way for it to be. Like, there's so many times where they've made mechanics and then just from where the game went, like those mechanics got pushed to the side. Like when they took away rolls and then just like, okay, so you made that whole gemming system for
Oh
nothing,
yeah,
or even like now, like you said with the your self-found gear getting stamped, like that means nothing right now.
yeah,
So they've made lots of cool mechanics, and they're mostly all in pretty good spots. Like the expressman's back. Remember, the expressman was gone for a bit
mm-hmm.
when they made, was it when they made continuous dungeon that the expressman left? I forget. But he's in a
I
good
don't
spot
remember.
where you get
Yeah,
to use him. Um, yeah, I think if they made normals at self found, that would give a good use to the found by mechanic. And that would kind of flesh out the rest of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
What was
What's that?
what's the next thing we were talking about? I forget.
Arenas.
Okay, arenas. Yep.
Thoughts? Yeah, the arenas came out earlier this week. During the weekend, we got a chance to play it. We got a lot of hours in. I think on Sunday. On Sunday, we got a bunch of hours in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was overall. I think it was a really good experience. We definitely ran into some freaks at a certain point. I was playing Ranger, and you were playing Wizard, and there was a team that we ran into a bunch of times, which was that it was a Warlock, Bard, Rogue guy, and the sorry, not Warlock. It was a Warlock, Rogue.
Wasn't there a barbarian?
Barbarian, yeah.
Yeah.
And the barbarian had the round shield, and I swear to God, he was moving at like max movement speed with a club and the round shield.
Yeah.
And there was just nothing I could do. Like, he was just running me down. I could shoot 1 or 2 arrows before he was like within melee range. And since I wasn't running backstep, like I couldn't really like hit him and like back away. Like, it was just okay. He like literally would hit me once or twice in the head, and I would just die over and over. It was on repeat.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that's like, you know, the result of him having agility on every single piece of gear, which I could definitely see, because he was fast. He was really fast.
Yes. I think one thing that arenas, because I took a break from arenas for like a whole wipe, I think.
Yeah.
And when the game was in a bad spot, I just took a break from the game too for a while. And I used to be a pretty damn good rogue, and man, this playing arenas made me realize how freaking rusty I am.
Yeah.
On rogue, like I'm playing. He's saying like, oh yeah, I was playing wizard. Like I wasn't playing skillful wizard, bro. I was playing bonk wizard. I had health on every piece. I'm just running in there bonking people.
Yeah.
Because that's like all I could do to feel useful at times.
Powerful. Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of fun.
For a while there, I was like, oh, rogue's weak, but then we were running into some really good rogues, and they were
definitely
messing us up lots of times. So I just need to get good. Need to get back into the flow of rogue.
Well, you know what's funny? I asked One Peg on his chat on his last video. I was like, if there was one thing you could fix about the game, what would it be? And he said mosquito rogue or something like that. And I'm not sure he didn't elaborate on that, but I'm not sure if he meant like he would just delete that from the game, or if he would improve it, or but you know, like, because I've been playing rogue, there's no way you could fight a lot of the classes without being a complete asshole. You know, like, you kind of have to be an asshole if you want to survive. You can't go toe-to-toe with a barbarian. You can't go toe-to-toe with a fighter. You can't go toe-to-toe with a cleric. You can't go toe-to-toe with a warlock, really. Like, they two-shot you if they're wearing, like, if you're doing blow of corruption, or one-shot you even, you know. So, like, unless you're just being a complete and utter asshole, you actually just can't play the game. And maybe that's just bad game design, but I would also be afraid if a rogue could be like, yeah, I'm going to stand and just trade shots with a cleric. Like, maybe that would be even scarier, you know?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways to play rogue right now. There is, you know, stealth ambush rogue. You're just going invisible. You're landmining people. But, you know, it's not as strong as it's been in the past because ambush isn't as strong and daggers aren't as strong and all that stuff. So that's not, like, super viable. I don't know about you, but I don't remember last time, like, I just got landmine straight up. Like, I didn't hear anything and then bang, I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
There's rogues using invis, but it's not like they're just standing next to doorways. Really,
no,
they're kinda...
Well, but, actually, you got landmined when we were playing High Roller on Saturday or on Sunday, but I think it's because he heard us clearing the module and just sat by the door for you to walk through. You survived, by the way. You were on Wizard.
Oh yeah, on ruins, right?
Yes, on ruins.
Yeah, I walked through.
But that's few and far between. And I will also say this: our experience is mostly duos and trios. We play a lot of games like together, and I think maybe it's because we don't have as much time to play. So when we do play, it kind of lines up that we're playing at the same time at night or at the same time during the weekend. But you know, I think if we had a lot more time, where just like for free, where you know you would probably get more time in solos. And I think from what I'm seeing in comments, like rogue is obviously more pervasive in solo environments. You're more
Yeah,
likely to
for
get
sure.
landmined in a solo environment than you are on like a duo or trio, because it's just rogue's just less effective in general. Because if a
For
rogue
sure.
goes in on somebody, like you go in on somebody on a, at least on against a good team, you go in against a good team, you might take that one person out, but there's a really good likelihood you're dying with that person.
Yeah. Yeah. If their head's on the swivel,
Yeah.
they'll start bonking you right away. So yeah, basically, in terms of the playstyles of rogue, like you have that style, which is not super effective outside of solos. Then you got double jump rogue,
Just super
and that's
strong.
pretty much it. And I think double jump rogue is kind of associated with the mosquito rogue. Like
Yeah.
you got two hand crossbows, you got poison weapon, you're just shooting
Hard to
people,
catch.
getting them kind
Yeah.
of low, throwing knives at them,
Yeah.
and with double jump you have more mobility than most other classes. And then when you do finally go in, you're hitting them in the head and they're hitting you in the legs, and then
Yeah.
that's kind of playing like an
Did
asshole, like you said.
did you watch the Repose video, by the way, where he's wearing all uniques?
I think I watched all of it.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
don't know if that classifies as mosquito rogue, but like, because he also makes it like he just obviously is very good at the game and it's wearing like absolute best gear money can buy, but
mhm.
he's like jumping on top of stuff that I didn't even know you could jump on top of and landing on people's heads and just taking them out in like a couple hits. It was a good
Yeah,
video.
that's how the best rogues play. Like I've
Yeah.
never really, when double jump first came out, I used it for a while, back when it had no downside to it. I used it a lot, but I don't know. I feel like if I'm playing rogue, I want to go invisible and walk around while I'm invisible, and that takes
Yeah.
up a lot of perk spots. So I don't usually have double jump.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's not like the rogue style that I usually play, but I do know that style is strong,
It's
and I know
super
a lot of
strong.
rogues
Yeah.
do that, and it
Yeah.
is fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's unique to the class. That's
Yeah.
basically what makes it different than just like a Slayer fighter. Pretty much, it's just the double
Yeah.
jump.
Batman rogue.
But yeah, I think so. There's something else to talk about is the different play styles of the classes. So like rogue, effectively has like two play styles, like invis rogue and the double jump rogue, and um like fighter's gotten a lot of different play styles this wipe, because maybe not a lot, but they made Slayer basically more effective this wipe than
Yeah.
it used to be. What about the other classes? They added a bunch of perks and stuff to Ranger. Like they added the
Yeah.
biscuits, the campfire
Oh,
mastery,
dude,
trap mastery.
cookies. I've been eating so many cookies this patch. It's incredible. I love that. I love the new ability. I love that you can get it back with campfires. I think that was a huge miss that they kind of fixed now, that you can get back your cookies with campfire and just heal. I mean, the ability to be able to just get back, I don't know how much is like 40 HP in it does take a couple seconds for it to kick in, but that's huge. That's
Yeah.
like the difference between taking one more hit or not. And in
Hmm.
clutch situations, it's definitely won me some fights that I would have otherwise lost. So, but at the same time, when you run up against, the best barbarian in the game, which probably not, but he's a very good barbarian, like it made no difference because he's two tapping me with a club, you know what I mean? But outside of that situation where I'm trading with someone maybe at range, or I can like back up around an obstacle or something and pop a cookie and then go back in for swings, it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. They've done pretty good this wipe so far. Happy with a lot of things.
Yeah. What are your you were saying like right now that the game is getting a lot of like kind of visibility because of the streamers like XQC Summit, and you were saying that you were
Yeah.
hoping Shroud plays too. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I don't think Stroud's ever gonna play, but I would love if he did. But
Yeah.
yeah, it seemed like XQC and I think Summit were playing again.
Yeah.
And the game's always had flashes of like mainstream. Like when the game first dropped on Steam, the very first playtest, it was huge. It was like 100,000 players.
Oh my god.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, there was a lot. Like everybody played it.
How far have
In
we
this,
fallen?
yeah, like I
Let's see
think
what.
like
Hold on.
Moist
We're at
were at like
5,700.
12,000.
Yeah, 5,700 right now in dungeon, 5,300 in lobby. So 10,000 or 11,000.
Yeah, 11,000, and it was
Yeah.
at like 15,000 during the weekend.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the player count is as good as an indie game can kind of hope for 2 years in.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we were talking about like what they'd have to do to get to the mainstream, like the real
Yeah.
mainstream,
Yeah.
and they gotta get the cat girl skins, bro, like the
I'm
real
telling you.
cat girl.
Yeah. Real cat
Yeah,
girls, exactly. Yeah. I
not
think to
the
some
not
degree
the
to
Lydia.
yeah. I hate to say this because I know it's so core to the game, but I think one of the things that might push people away, I know for a fact pushes people away, is how slow the movement is, and the fact that like I'll give you an example. Like one of the things that drew me into playing Apex for as long as it did was the fact that you could freaking slide. That's so cool. I love sliding. I slide even when I don't have to in Apex. And I'm not saying that they need to add it to Dark and Darker. Calm down. Don't, throw stick things at me, people. But like, I just think that the movement in games can be really fun. And Dark and Darker is definitely like a generally slow paced
So
dungeon crawling experience. Go ahead.
a counterpoint to that, kind of like a similar like aha moment I've had in Dark and Darker is the fact that like when you look down, your
Mm-hmm.
body like moves down. Like I don't think people when people are just looking at the game, they don't realize that.
Oh
Like they
yeah.
don't realize that's like a core mechanic of the game, especially when it comes
When
to
I
like
when I look down in
killing
the
the
game, I
mobs.
look down in real life too. It's actually
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
yeah,
Like when I'd hate to look at a video of myself playing this game because when I'm dodging shit in game, I'm probably like contorting my
yep,
body into ways that I didn't even know like were possible.
yeah, yeah. That dude, that first 500 hours when I was playing solo, I was immersed. I was doing the same thing, bro. Like
Yeah.
I was getting closer and closer to my screen, and if I'm ducking an attack, I'm ducking my head. Like I
Yep.
think that's what people don't realize until they play it for themselves
Yeah.
is the control of like the player model, I guess, and how it needs to be controlled to like have really high level combat. Um, but also what I forgot what we were talking about. Oh,
Yeah.
for the mainstream appeal,
Yeah.
um, the style of the game. We were recently showing some other people the game, and they're like, "It looks like Oblivion." Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. It
yeah,
kind of
yeah, it does.
does with like updated graphics maybe. Or with
Yeah.
like 1,000 graphic mods. We're in Skyrim 2025.
So let's ask this: how much do you think the current player base, like the hardcore player base of Dark and Darker, like care about like the look of the game, like the style of the game?
Well, I
Like, do you
think
think
that
they really care at
the
all,
hardcore
or
hardcore players like you and me, you've kind of grown accustomed to the way that the game looks, and you have the time now invested that you can discern people, right? And so, as a background, I'm an artist. I do art
Mhm.
stuff for a living, and one of the big things that I noticed when I first came into this game is that there's no clear distinction between the classes when you first start playing the game. Like it's only when you start getting a lot of time in the game that you know what some classes can and can't wear and what they sort of look like at a distance. But like there'd be times when I'd be like, "Oh, that's a wizard." And it's like, "No, that's a sorcerer or that's a warlock or that's a druid." Like I don't know. They all look the same to me. They're wearing some kind of baggy clothes, you know.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um, and oh, that's a fighter. No, that's not a fighter. That's a warlock. He's just wearing plate. Oh, okay, I don't know. He's got a freaking halberd and he's wearing plate. So I thought he was a fighter, you know. And
Yeah.
and to some degree, I still make that mistake. So I think one of the things that they could do is definitely in the art department is to break apart even the silhouettes of the characters to make them, you know, break them apart. It's a fantasy game, and I think that the art is definitely so trying to focus to be realistic that like it's kind of lost in the sauce. Like it lost the forest for the trees. You know what I mean? Or the other way around.
Yeah. So
Um,
me and you have like kind of debated this before, and I like the concept of like each player just being whatever the skin is that they have, like the the human skin at the start, but most people aren't using the human skin. So if you have a fighter that's using the Black Philidian skin, they look exactly like a rogue in the Black Philidian skin if they're not using any gear. And
Yep.
I like that. I don't know why. It's just like
That you can't tell them apart.
yeah, just like that's just a byproduct of it. But I liked the concept that like you're just a person, and I think that goes back to like the Dungeons and Dragons roots of like the
Yeah.
classes are just people, and they just decide whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like these characters have like 5 abilities each. They have 2 abilities, and then they have 4 perks. But like we're all just men, you know, swinging swords and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, I mean, that's fine. And I don't want to like say anything that's going to pull it away from whatever SDF's vision is, but I just think that there's already classes, right? And when you have a class-based system and class-based abilities, like you're already going into archetypes that could be better defined by size, shape, color, and things like that, that would help to visually stand things apart better, you know. And I don't know
Yeah,
if,
so
you know, yeah, go ahead.
my initial question was like, how much do you think the general player base kind of agrees with me versus you? Like where they would like a more distinguished, stylized version of characters,
Okay,
or
so
even
the easiest way to even break into that question is if you look at Fortnite. I'm not saying that people have to play Fortnite, because there's a lot of reasons to dislike Fortnite's gameplay, but you really can't even what's it called, argue against the fact that they're doing incredibly well, right? Their population numbers are insane. Fortnite has been a super massive giga success for Epic
Mhm.
Games, and a lot of that has to do with just the visuals of the game. I mean, how many people are just buying skins left and right? Have you been to their skin shop? And that stuff looks sleek. You know what I mean? I as an artist, I can definitely appreciate it, even though I don't like the game. I don't like playing it. I've never liked a third person game, and especially when the building came out, like early on, I was like, I'm not into that. I just couldn't do it. But I really do. I do
So
like
what
the
you're
visual.
saying is you want Nicki Minaj in Dark and Darker.
Yeah, yeah, or Pete. What's it called? Peter Griffin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I understand what you're
yeah,
saying. Like, okay, yeah, obviously, for the biggest game in the world
yeah,
has those stylized skins, this and that. But
yeah,
like,
yeah. So
my
yeah, so
my question is like
go ahead. Yeah.
the of the 15,000 players playing Darker and Darker is like a part of the reason that they love this game because it doesn't have stuff like that. That's my question. It's like
I don't think so.
the
I just
do the
this is
hold the
the
liners
only.
identify
Yeah.
with the current style? Because I feel like I do. I like how it is.
Okay. I respect that, but I like it too. It's grown on me. But I will say this: there there are definitely people that will load up the game. And how many people have we had on our Discord be like, "Yo, this game looks like
Yep.
trash." So many people, and you can't even explain to it. It's like, no, you got to give it a chance. But the thing is, I'm not saying this game needs to be Fortnite in terms of level of stylization. It just needs to be pushed a little bit more into like the fantasy, like just edge it slightly more into the fantasy territory. Make the mummy more of a mummy. Make the cat more of a cat. Make the, make the barbarian more of a barbarian. Make his model like, I don't know, 3 or 4% bigger, and maybe make them take 3 or 4% less from like range damage or something. Like there's ways that they can make things visually different and not affect the game like too much. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I think like Blizzard had like a really good, like over the years, like all of the art that they've done, they just had such a visual style that when you looked at a screenshot of a Blizzard game, it didn't matter which one, you would know, oh yeah, that's StarCraft. Oh yeah, that's
Mhm.
World of Warcraft. Oh yeah, this is, or even Riot now too. Like you look at anything Riot, you're like, yeah, that's a Riot screenshot. But if you look at a screenshot from any place on this map or any of these characters, somebody that isn't like a 200-hour player is gonna be like, I don't know what is that a game? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have. It's trying to be so
Well, a lot of
realistic.
it is bought
Yeah.
assets too.
Yeah,
Like
flipped.
they are just generic, Unreal Engine
Yeah.
assets, and I'm not saying that should stay the same. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that. But like the new map, I think the new map has a perfect style. Like if it is still feels like dark and darker, but it's got a lot more flair to it.
Oh yeah, it does. I agree.
But it runs like poop, so yeah.
It does. It still has pretty bad performance issues, where it does feel like it's maybe a quarter to half a second behind, whenever you make an input. Like, you like even when you shoot an arrow, you don't hear the impact of the arrow right away. You hear it like a split second after it's supposed to hit, intuitively. But yeah, but that's on the map, like environment art department. So I think that that's really cool. I don't know if that's going to translate directly to like their character art, and kind of one of the things I was telling you even like super early on, I was like, dude, just get like one of those from Nexon, steal one of those First Descendant designers. Get like just put like even like 10% goonery in Dark and Darker, they'll make more money.
We need more money.
Yeah. Let the rivers of goblin milk flow.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
If nobody knows what we're talking about, there was an AI video where they took all the biggest streamers and they supposedly took them. They know. Well, anyway, it was a YouTube video, AI YouTube video. It was kind of funny referencing that. But anyway, yeah, if they could get one of the First Descendant designers or something, or even like a Riot designer to really help like punch up the character designs and stuff, that would be fucking awesome. But I think, not to make this overly long again, but in closing thoughts, I think just a couple of ideas, just really the main idea that I was having to try to improve the game, from the standpoint of making normals better, was to make it so that it's self-found gear only in riches and normals, and then if you're buying a frickin' BIS kit, you got to run it in high roller. Like, you can't stomp Timmy's with it. I think that would be a really good solution to that.
Once you buy gear, you have to bring it into high roller.
Yeah. And then, like you were saying,
if you want to use it in PvE, I guess.
Yeah, and like you were saying, if you do that, then you also open up legendary gear to normals, which currently is limited to epic. Bringing it in, I mean, not pulling it out. So I think that's like a good trade-off where you're able to run higher level gear, but you just have to find it you have to find it yourself and mint it yourself. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I like that change a lot. Yeah, so last video we had a lot of comments. Let us know, what you guys think of that. Let us know what you think about the style also of Dark and Darker. Do you think it needs, Nicki Minaj, or what do you guys think? What do you think makes it, like, because I have a hard time describing what makes it Dark and Darker, and I think Jose does too. And that's like, what is it?
We need more K-pop demon hunters.
True. Any other thoughts?
No, not that I can think of. I think we kind of covered the last 2 weeks topics pretty good. We'll try to stay on top of it.
I was gonna say, is there anything else you're like looking forward to in this wipe in particular? Because the wipe is still young, The self-found is over, but like, what other goals do you have for this wipe?
Goals, I don't know. Just have fun, and I have been having fun this wipe a lot. I've been enjoying it a lot. I think the fact that you can't have movement speed, even though you can have agility on every piece, like, it's not the same as having like straight up movement speed. I've been enjoying that a lot because it feels like it feels like you stand a chance against a lot of the stronger classes, like, clerics and fighters and stuff. They're not running at you at 330 move speed anymore, which at least there might be a few if they're like pushing like 3 agility on every single piece, but that's got to be pretty expensive and not as common.
It costs them an arm and a leg to do that.
Yeah, not definitely not as common as it was like a patch or two ago, where that was just like pretty much every single cleric you saw was running at you with max movement speed, and that was just insane. I've been enjoying the patch a lot, definitely. Even though Startup Market Open was a little bit tough, once we transitioned into high rollers and or just started buying our own gear again, because like you kind of have to fight fire with fire. Like you can't go into a normals game without buying gear. It's just you're just gonna get pooped on by someone that's literally just trying to stat check you.
Yeah.
So
and as far as me, I'm at 2.2 thousand hours. I have yet to find an artifact in the game myself. That is my goal this fight. And maybe that is more achievable now that High Rollers is kind of dead in a way. I've been getting to, like, when I play duos and trios, I've been getting to, you know, Inferno and being able to do the Ghost King more consistently than in the past.
Yeah.
In the past, it was like a shit show down there. Like, everybody was playing High Roller, so everybody would be still in hell and fighting for the boss. But it doesn't seem that way right now for whatever reason.
Oh, also, one last thing that I wanted to add as far as, like, bossing goes, because one of the main annoyances I think with fighting a boss is that, especially when you're doing it early in the match, is that you know that, like, for example, you're in High Roller Ghost King, you're doing it, you can fight the entire boss generally like undisturbed, but the second the boss dies, there's one or two teams that are rushing into that room to capitalize on the fact that you just killed the boss. Like that is like happens nearly 100% of the time, and you know, that is frustrating. And sometimes they try to grief you while you're fighting the boss. So I don't know what they could do to prevent that. Like maybe like lock the boss room.
At this point, it's something that people have talked about for so long. If they saw it as an issue, they would have solved it by now. Or I just think that's just the way that's kind of meant to be. I know we don't like that, but because we talked about this forever, and it does come down to like how mastered you are at the boss. Like if you're perfect at the boss, you don't take as much damage. Even if somebody comes in, you're, you know, you're still topped off. You still can fight them. But yeah, we're not those kind of players where we are perfect at the boss every time. And really, the only one that we're like pretty good at is Ghost King. Like,
and
we
Lich.
can do, and Lich. Yeah, but even then, like we have fucking fuck ups and die and stuff.
Yeah, but I think everybody does. You know, it's just the way it is.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
But anyway, I think that's a good place to leave it.
Yep.
So it doesn't get overly long.
Yeah, so it was a pleasure.
Yep. Likewise. Hopefully we'll do this again in 2 weeks from now. Or if there's like a big patch or something that happens along the way, then maybe we'll just do like a shorter form video, just talk about like patch notes and stuff like that, just because it's like current news. But I think in general we'll probably maybe stick to like a 2-week cadence, and maybe sooner or later depending on life events or whatever. But like I think that's a good clip.
Yeah, that sounds good. And yeah, we haven't had a really big patch yet, so and I'm sure one is coming at some point during the wipe. So
yeah. Yep.
All right, dude. Until next time.
See you guys in the caves. Nice, dude.
Barb's around your corner there, Vic. Hit the barb 3 times. Kill the barb.
Please don't kill me.
Please don't kill me.